I'd like to acknowledge that we and our guests are on Treaty 3 territory, home to Walker, as well as many other communities, including the Métis Nation. We recognize and deeply appreciate their historic connection to this place. We also recognize the contributions of First Nations, Métis, and Inuit peoples have made both in shaping and strengthening our community and province and our country as a whole. I'd like to welcome everyone online and our guest and the seating. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 6:06. Sorry. Approval of the agenda.
That the Council for the Corporation of the Township of Ignace, this 11th day of May 2026, approve the agenda as presented.
Need a mover, please. Councillor Befield and the second Councillor Talley. All in favor? Carried. Declaration of disqualifying interest pecuniary? None? Noted. Approval of the minutes of the most recent meeting.
That the Council for the Corporation of the Township of Ignace, this 11th day of May 2026, approves the minutes as amended. The April 13th, 2026 regular meeting of Council, item 7.2.4, incorrectly had 2026 stated. It should say there hasn't been an assessment since 2016, so we'll correct that. And then April 20th, 2026 special meeting of Council as presented.
Need a mover, please? Councilor Lanier, seconder. Councilor Yvette, all in favor? Carried. Do we have any other questions to the minutes? Okay, council direction from previous meetings, delegations, deputations, presentations. 6.1 is CIBC Wood Gundy. So welcome.
Archie.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me okay? I'm hearing an echo. Sorry, can you hear me?
Echoing.
It's possible. We do have two RG online.
There's two like signs.
Oh, he signed in twice. It was echoing on his own devices.
So
Okay, I think you're signed in twice. And that's why we're getting the feedback. Yeah.
How's that?
Try now. Yeah, that's perfect.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes,
okay. You'd think I've done this before. Okay, well, thank you. Thank you so much, everyone, for giving us a few minutes on your agenda this evening. My name is Harjeet Sembi. I'm with CIBC Private Wealth, CIBC Wood Gundy, and I have my partner Rhea on the line as well. So we really appreciate an opportunity to kind of share with you a little bit about our team and how we work with other townships and municipalities across the province, and how we might be able to help you going forward as your needs continue to change and evolve. I believe you have the presentation, the slides available to you, or can I share them on the screen? Or
Harjeet, if you'd like to share so you can control your pace, by all means.
Oh, okay, yeah, I can share this. Can you see the screen okay?
Absolutely.
And Harjeet, can everyone hear me? Hello?
Hello.
Just before you start, I also just wanted to introduce Charlene, who is our banker. So any type of business banking needs, things like that, she works with you guys. I think most of you already know her, but just wanted to introduce everyone from the CIBC team.
Thanks, Rhea. Hi, everyone.
Yes, thank you. Sorry, Charlene, I didn't see that. Obviously, I'm not a Zoom person. So real briefly, a little bit about our team. We're unique at CIBC in that there's only a couple of teams across the country that have a real focus on the public sector and not-for-profit sectors. And so that's how we work closely with our commercial banking partners. And so for us, we partner up with different municipalities, townships, universities, and foundations across the province. And that gives us a unique advantage where we can kind of get a lens into what similar groups are doing across the province, and gives us access to some unique solutions that other teams might not have access to. And where we really excel is providing real objective and unbiased investment solutions for you to really match up with your needs as they evolve over time. And as we go through an example, you'll see what I really mean about that. And then lastly, one of the things that our clients value the most is our approach to service. So we do try to provide very, very customized, personalized attention to what your needs are, really get an understanding of the township and what things look like over the coming years, and work closely with you as those needs and those goals may change. And taking that approach has allowed us to partner up with a lot of different municipalities and townships across the province, from very large, mature municipalities to maybe smaller townships and municipalities that are in a growth phase. So regardless of what stage you're at, we're able to help you alongside whatever your goals are and what your thinking is. And so I share that really for two reasons. One is it gives us access to a lot of different tools that we can use to help you. The other is that while every township or city is unique in their own right, a lot of times you face similar challenges, and we're able to share best practices and work closely with you as the township continues to grow and evolve. And so, more specific to you and your township, this would be an example of how we get to the point of giving you an investment solution, giving you a strategy to implement. First, we kind of look at your asset management plan and really identify some of the key things, the key recommendations within that asset management plan. So, we look at your plan level of service and build that into your long-term financial planning. We'll look to implement some strategic capital allocation towards the predictable projects that we have on the go. And of course, we want to look for ways to help leverage the additional revenues that you'll get from the nuclear waste management program. And then taking that asset management plan will help determine some of the opportunities and gaps that you might have. So think of this as establishing kind of a short, a medium, and a long-term strategy. Where in the short term, we want to help you set aside some funding for your more kind of critical near-term projects that you have, generate some predictable funding for the forecasted projects that you have on the go. So the Ring of Fire, the enhancements to the highway, those things that you've already identified. And then lastly, create a bit more of a longer-term plan to help fund some of your future growth. And so once you have that plan in place, then we can work towards customizing an investment solution that matches up to those funding requirements on the short and the medium and the long-term needs that you have, and really allow you to kind of support and sustain the ongoing growth and initiatives that the township has. And so to walk you through an example of how we would do this and where we can really work together to create something that's very customized to what you need. I'm going to pass it over to Rhea to walk through an example of a strategy that we would use, just an example, to give you a sense of how we could fit that gap.
Yeah, thanks so much, Harjeet. So first of all, to start off, any solution that we can provide you with will be in line with the Municipal Act. So if we flip to the next slide, a common misconception that we always get asked about is, when investing through the Municipal Act, are you constrained to kind of solely some of these government bonds and GICs that we see on the screen? And we always like to tell clients this is not the case at all. When you work with us, you can invest in so many diverse and unique products that are actually tailored and kind of created to your liking. And that includes products with equity exposure, but also something simple like a GIC. So super, super diverse. And so if we look at the laddered portfolio, it's a really, really interesting solution that we like to implement for a lot of our clients. It's a 100% principal protected solution. So that's very valuable to public sector clients right now in this environment where, a lot of us are very concerned about markets being at all-time highs. And within this laddered strategy, these investment lines mature, or you could say ladder out over sequential years, at which point you can essentially take the maturity and reinvest into the next rung of the ladder, or take the cash and use it for your municipality. This strategy and creation also helps mitigate reinvestment risk, whether interest rates are rising or falling. The portfolio is always uniquely created to your needs, and we'll get more into that on the following slides. And finally, one last thing we'll say is this ladder runs very passively after it's created. So you'll have help from your advisors, which are us, but on your end, you won't need to create this investment board or allocate any additional resources to the investment management. You can kind of keep using those resources for other projects. And then here on the screen, you'll see an actual real life example of a ladder that we implemented for a municipal client very recently. And in this ladder, you'll see 8 lines of $1 million maturities periodically, and they're going out 15 years. So super, super simple. And there's a lot kind of going on this screen with those 8 lines. But for today, we'll just point out 2 very distinct things. First of all, on the very left-hand side of the screen, where you see the rows of the different bond debenture issuers, you'll see all different solutions from all different providers. So like an example would be in the short term, the best strategy here was a 1-year GIC from Scotiabank. So we've all bought, a 1-year GIC, super, super simple solution. But then in the medium term, for this client, we felt the best solution was from BMO or RBC. So while on me and Harjeet's business card, you might see CIBC, we're actually in no way obligated to use CIBC product if that's not the best solution for you in that moment. So we always examine the entire landscape and choose what is best suited to you. And that's a super, super unique kind of feature of our practice. The second thing that I want to highlight to you is this portfolio will never drop in value below that $8 million initial notional. It's 100% principal protected. So it provides you this great elevated return of this 5.26% that you see circled. But even more than that, it provides you peace of mind as a fiduciary to your residents that you will never lose this invested principal in this strategy. So if we go to the next slide, one of the really, really great things about the laddered strategy is that we can perfectly match up our maturities in the ladder with capital commitments. So earlier in the presentation, Harjeet very lightly touched on some of the capital requirements for your municipality that we saw in the asset management plan. and we can tailor the ladder to those. So let's say here you had a capital need for $5 million in 2033. Well, we can overweight that sleeve to fit your needs, so you know with confidence that at least $5 million is coming due that year, if not that exact day. Visually too, on the next slide, just to highlight that 5.26 over a long-term conservative portfolio, you can see the power of compounding, right? So this portfolio returning 5.26 annually with reinvested interest can be worth almost triple that in just 20 years. And finally, the last thing that we'll show you for today is the range of outcomes that we can provide. So this is an actual client and a real life example of somebody who we've been working with for very many years. And we wanted to show you what some of their returns looked like. So in a good year, like this past year, they achieved 12%. Over the past 3 years, they achieved 8%, which have been excellent returns. But what we really wanted to highlight today was that even in a bad year like 2020 during the COVID-19 pandemic, where the S&P equity index was down 11%, this client still achieved 6% through their judicious laddered portfolio. And it's just a bit of a testament to the fact that you don't have to be exposed to a lot of risk to still achieve really strong returns when you work with an advisory group like ours. And I think that's all for now. I'll pass it back to Harjeet.
Yeah. Thanks, Ria. Thank you so much, everyone. We want to be respectful of our time allotment. We covered off a lot here. We're going to. I believe you all have a copy of our presentation, and there's an appendix with some more details on the approach. If there's a couple of takeaways, one is that we're a team that focuses on working with municipalities across the province, and we have a lot of expertise, well versed in the Municipal Act and helping to make sure that you're well within the confines of the Act. And then secondly, and probably just as important, if not most important, it's our approach is to really work closely with you to make sure your investment strategy is customized to what your township needs and what the growth and the needs are going forward, and we continue to work with you as things evolve over time. So with that, I'll pass it back to council. Thank you so much for letting us be on there. I know we were trying to stick to 10 minutes, so I'll pass it back.
Thank you very much for the information, and I'm sure you'll be hearing from council and staff in the very near future.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Working? Moving on, 6.2, one investment.
Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Excellent. My just gonna share my screen. I guess that's what the last folks did, and then we'll get rolling. So just before I do that, I'll introduce myself. I'm Jason Hagan, Program Manager with One Investment. I work with AMO and LAS as well, and with me is our Chief Investment Officer, Keith Taylor. So we have a short presentation set up similar to what we've talked with staff about in the past, and we'll keep it fairly high level. But if there's any questions, please feel free to chime in.
Thank you.
So let me know when you can see my screen.
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So One Investment, we've been around the municipal space for quite some time, working with municipalities since 1993. We're jointly owned by LAS, which is a part of AMO, and CHUMS, which is a subsidiary of the Municipal Finance Officers Association. So We are a not-for-profit organization focused on serving only Ontario municipalities and their the broader public sector, so conservation authorities and municipal boards, etc. Along the way, we've collected a number of friends. We have about 200 municipalities that leverage one investment for one or more investment type, anything from high interest bank accounts to legal list investments. And then we have 21 as of the end of the month that will be leveraging us for prudent investment, and that's a unique portion of the Municipal Act. So what we're here to talk about today is, as I understand, is an investment opportunity for the municipality for some longer term funds that will be coming into the hands of the municipality, and that you're hoping to do more of them, make the most of them for the future. So there's two ways to look at this. The default investment provisions under the Municipal Act are under the legal list. And so that's an enumerated list of powers that basically tell a municipality what you can own. And if what you want to own is not listed, it's not allowed. So we do work in that space, and that side we have about 179 municipalities that we help with. But on the right side of the screen is prudent investment. As of 2019, the Municipal Act was amended to allow municipalities, if they met certain thresholds and criteria, to invest with the prudent person model. And basically that's taking off the handcuffs of Canadian-only investments and allowing for a different approach to investment, not for short-term funds, but for your long-term funds, or what we call money not required immediately. So on the legal list side, we do have a number of options in that space, and we do help about 20 municipalities in the Northwest with these products, anything from high interest savings account down through bonds, corporate bonds, and Canadian equities. There is a provision in the Municipal Act that provides that you can only invest in a Canadian equity directly if you do so through one investment, and there are some other channels to get exposure. But just wanted to point that out as an opportunity, even if the municipality stays on the legal list approach. Prudent investment now, this is really the crux of what we wanted to speak about here, is that if you think of the legal list Canada only, it's that blue circle. If you think of prudent investment, it's the orange circle. It's a broader investment set. It's worldwide. It crosses sectors and asset classes. And what that gives you is an increase in available investment products, an opportunity for better portfolio diversification. If one certain part of the market is doing well, another may be doing poorly, and over the way you get balance. Subject matter expertise, and I'll speak to that in a bit, but prudent investment requires independence. Fiduciary oversight, again, having experts manage your funds rather than the municipal treasurer having to put that on the desk along with the other 15 tasks that they have. Stronger risk-adjusted returns over a longer period, an independent investment board through the one joint investment board, and the ability, again, especially with these long-term funds that are coming to the municipality, is to make them work for the betterment of the community over a long term and take the politics out of municipal investments. So under prudent investment, this again is your long-term funds, and it may be this reserve from NWMO, it may be other long-term assets of the municipality. But really what the Municipal Act says is that if a municipality wishes to be a prudent investor, they have to adhere to certain things. So they have to exercise care, skill, and diligence, obtain advice, consider investment planning criteria, diversify. And then the regulation goes a little bit further to say that a municipality must invest long-term money via an independent investment board or joint investment board. And that's where one investment comes in with our joint investment board, is that we act currently for almost soon it'll be 21 municipalities that will be a part of our joint investment board. 5 of these are from Northwestern Ontario. So Thunder Bay, Kenora, Red Lake, Oliver, Papoonge, and Nebing. And these municipalities have said, we'll draw a line in the sand, we'll call a certain set of funds long-term investments, and we'll invest those through a prudent investment model with one joint investment board. Collectively, we're investing on this side about $2.8 billion. So again, the part that's important here and was comfort to the treasurer is that PI only applies to money not required immediately, or MNRI as we call it. This is determined by the municipality, so it could be 2 years or 3 years, or it could be NWMO Reserve Fund. You pick what it is. That is what the one joint investment board would manage. Everything else stays in the care and control of the municipality. and could be invested with the individual who spoke with us prior, who they do a very good job as well. So again, it's a section of money that is long term. Under prudent investment, the governance model suggests that a municipality has to be a willing participant in prudent investment, and they have to adopt an investment policy to the effect of prudent investment. And we have models to help with that and support. There's 3 of us on the team that will work. We have Keith is our chief investment officer. We have Jennifer, who's our municipal finance professional, and I have a master's in public admin, so I help with the policy and the approach on that side. Once the policy is in place and you know the amount of funds to come over, the independent board or the one joint investment board implements a plan that will invest that money. And I'll show the plans in a moment, but it's our job to monitor, report, manage the outside investment advisor and to report back to the municipality. So our external investment manager was hired through an RFP process. And as I said, they manage about $2.8 billion for us now. And that is RBC Global Asset Management, or commonly known as PH&N Institutional. So what we've done with PH&N and RBC is we've built a set of model portfolios that are approved by the Joint Investment Board, and we use them for the investment of all the 21 municipalities. And what model the municipality would go into would be determined by the amount of funds, the nature of funds, the timeline of funds. So it could be anything from 100% fixed income in Model A to 30% fixed income and 70% equities in Model G. It all depends on the situation, but it's a cookie cutter approach while being unique. It's giving a model that works, it's refined, it's efficient, and then we're applying municipal circumstance as we work with the municipality to figure out what funds are available and what the purpose and time frame of those is. So again, not to get too deep into it, but if you look back in time, if you put $100,000 in the light blue line, which is the one closest to the bottom, that's a well-diversified fixed income portfolio under the legal list. $100,000 could have become about $209,000. The blue would be a prudent investment portfolio that is 100% fixed income. You could have created a slightly better return there, about 1% and a bit more. You could have ended up with about $224,000. And if you went a bit further and you had a long-term portfolio that was 50% equities, 40% fixed income, and had some alternative investments, that $100,000, if it wasn't touched throughout the period and with the equity exposure, you'd end up at well over $400,000. So the story here is that for long-term money, diversity and opening up other asset classes is what's going to provide you with the opportunity to grow that fund for the longer term benefit of the community. And with that, we can take any questions.
Go ahead.
Hi, Jason. How you doing? It's Aaron speaking.
Oh, great to see you. Great to hear from you.
Yeah. Quick question about the prudent investment. Now, you mentioned it was long term. As many municipalities know, that sometimes things arise where an emergencies happens and money needs to be acquired. How obviously long term, and there is it locked in? Like, 'cause you mentioned as long as nobody touches it for the what is it, 100 class D plus or whatever. Is it locked in, or how easy is it to get that cash? The only reason I ask is because I've heard that sometimes you need the minister to get that back.
So that's a great question. I'll answer the part with the minister, and I'll let Keith answer the part about liquidity.
Okay.
So to become a prudent investor, the municipality has to pass a bylaw that says we want to become a prudent investor and we're going to join an investment board or create one. To go back to the legal list and to get rid of prudent investment, that requires the minister to say it's okay. But that's only because you've moved away from the legal list rules. And what the minister would probably say is, what's your plan to get back to compliance? but you don't have to, you can, all of your short-term money stays in the legal list when you go prudent investment for the longer term money, and it's
Okay.
still liquid, and Keith can address that.
Okay.
Yeah, sure. In terms of the liquidity, it's your money. If you need to spend your money, of course you can have it back. All of the investments are in pooled funds that can be, there's a planning cycle about your treasurer informing us and us facilitating the trades. But yeah, these are all pooled funds and they can be liquidated in very short order. I will say that some of the for some municipalities, they have opted to invest in alternative investments. These are less liquid investments. And typically our models at most have 10% of the overall monies invested in alternative investments. If there is a suspicion that it's not really sticky long-term money, we would steer you away from investing in those long-term investments. But for those investors that they have that visibility, it is appropriate. And yeah, for that 10% of your portfolio, if you had opted into the alternative investments, that might be a little bit more tricky to get out of. But generally speaking, yeah, getting in and out is fairly orderly, and very rarely would anyone be in a situation where you have to draw it all down. So we would work with you to get that money on the timeline you need.
Yeah, and just to add to that, really what we're talking about here is we have at minimum 2 touch points with each prudent investor every year as we plan their annual review, which the municipal act requires. And as part of that, you would update the treasurer would update the client questionnaire and say, we had 5 million. Hey, now we're going to have 6. Or, ooh, the bridge in Main Street's a bit troublesome. Maybe we need to hold back 1 million. And that's the part that Keith works with PH&N on and says, well, let's adapt their investment plan. It looks like some of that long-term money is now, 3 to 5 years. And that's part of the discussion and that annual review of the policy before it goes to the joint investment board for the annual update.
Yeah, that's a very, 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 very good point, Jason. We only manage the long-term portion. The shorter term portion that's needed for short-term liquidity, and arguably there could be a contingency bucket within that. That continues to be managed by the treasurer according to the legal list. So it's not yeah, there's some flexibility built in.
Okay, I have a question from one of the counselors, Counselor Tadio.
Might be a stupid question, I'm not sure, but does your organization borrow money too?
Sorry. Yeah, can you say that again, please?
I was just wondering if your organization borrows money too as well.
No, we don't borrow money. We just we offer the opportunity to invest municipal reserve funds. That's it.
Okay,
I just have one follow-up.
okay, go ahead, Aaron.
Sorry, just to be clear, so you can both invest in the prudent and the legal list, it's just those sort of monies are separated? Or is it
Correct.
only one or the other?
Yeah, so just very simple example. Municipality has $5 million. And the municipality says, money longer than 3 years in horizon. So in our capital asset plan, things for the roads and the bridge and community center are in the long-term side of 3 years, and everything else is less than 3 years. And that long-term is $2 million of the total 5 million. Under prudent investment, the $2 million would come to the joint investment board, and the $3 million that is not long-term investments stay in the care and control of the treasurer under the legal list approach.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, thank you very much, Keith and Jason, for the presentation to council. We appreciate your information that you gave to us tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. I apologize we couldn't make it in person. We were trying to make it work, but we couldn't quite slide up there. Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
Okay, moving on. Second, legislative matters. I'm going to pull 7.2.3 and 7.2.8. Does any other council members want to pull?
7.2.6.
Okay. Okay.
That the council for the corporation of the township of Big East does hereby approve the consent agenda for this regular meeting of council, this 11th day of May 2026, and all directions and recommendations or motions included herein. Hold for discussion are 7.2.3, 7.2.6, and 7.2.8. Yes.
Need a mover, please? Councilman, second. Councilman, all in favor? Yeah, I'm gonna discuss it, yeah. 7.2.3, okay, the Minister of Northern Economic Development and Growth for the tourism. I was just wondering if council wanted to, maybe advertise this on our website. I can't really see that there would be any other way that, and address it to camp owners in the region. Because they would have to, they would have to approve their name and materials might be used for advertising on television, and I just wondered what council.
Yeah, I think it has to be within the municipality, doesn't it?
I thought it was for all of North Ontario, yeah. So I just thought that if we advertise, Councillor detail.
So it's, the township could make a submission on behalf of IGNIS, that if any photos have any persons that are identifiable, then the consent needs to be signed.
Yeah.
So I think to showcase IGNIS and participate in the million of non-development growth, it'd be a great opportunity. So if staff could come back with, how we're going to showcase our municipality, to go participate in this, I think that would be.
Yeah. Okay. Are full in agreement still? Yeah, okay. Okay, moving on, 7.2.6, Councillor detail.
So we know that alcohol use, is very high in Northwestern Ontario. I'm wondering, does our municipality have a policy on safe consumption for?
So through the mayor, we've received, we've had correspondence with the health unit, and they sent a policy to us. We just haven't had an opportunity to review it yet, but that is something that we're working towards.
Okay, and perhaps this could be the premises for some consideration and good ideas for, making sure non-alcoholic options are available to our community.
Okay. Okay, 7.2.8. I just wondered if we wanted to do a resolution to support protection of farmlands. There's a lot of farmlands down east. I know it doesn't really pertain to us, but there's a lot of farmlands down east, that are, well, they're being sold and the houses are being built on them. So farmers are unable to, well, I guess they sell their property, but this is in support of protecting for the farmland and the vegetables they grow and the food that they produce, and just wondering how council felt about that. I know it doesn't pertain to us here.
It does.
But it does. Yeah.
Because the food chain is being disrupted by expansion of communities. And, then we are ending up into the organic type of growing of hydroponic food, which is not natural. Yeah, I think, I support this.
Okay. Sure. Okay. Okay, moving on to administrative matters. 8.1.1, Ignis Fire Department Council report. Sorry.
No, that's
There's one version, that's just. Oh, the next is, okay. Do we have any questions from council? 8.2.1, call to action for justice and protection of Canadian children.
Whereas the Township of Ignace supports the City of Welland's call to action for justice and protection of Canada's children, and whereas the safety and well-being of children is a fundamental responsibility shared by all levels of government, and whereas recent incidents involving sexual offenses against children have deeply affected communities across Ontario and Canada, raising serious concerns about public safety and the adequacy of existing legislative protections. And whereas violent sexual crimes against children represent some of the most serious offenses under the Canadian Criminal Code of Canada, and have lifelong impacts on victims, families, and communities. And whereas municipalities play a critical role in advocating for policies that protect residents and promote safe communities. And whereas there is a growing concern that gaps in bail, sentencing, parole eligibility, and offender monitoring allow high-risk individuals to re-enter communities prematurely, placing children at continued risk. Now therefore be it resolved that Council of the Township of Ignace formally urges all levels of government to review and strengthen legislation and policies related to violent and sexual offenses against children, including but not limited to: 1, bail and sentencing provisions, ensuring that individuals charged with or convicted of violent sexual offenses against children are subject to the strictest possible bail conditions and sentencing outcomes that reflect the severity of these crimes. 2, parole and early release, limiting parole eligibility, statutory release, or other forms of early release for offenders convicted of sexual offenses against children who pose ongoing risks to public safety. 3, sex offender monitoring, strengthening the National Sex Offender Registry and related provincial tools to improve accuracy, enforcement, and timely access to information for law enforcement. And 4, victim and community safety, prioritizing the protection of children and community safety within the justice system above administrative or procedural efficiencies. And be it further resolved that copies of this resolution be forwarded to the Prime Minister of Canada, the Right Honourable Mark Carney, the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of Canada, the Honourable Sean Fraser, the Member of Parliament for Kenora, Mr. Eric Malillo, the Premier of Ontario, the Honourable Doug Ford, the Attorney General of Ontario, the Honourable Doug Downey, the Solicitor General of Ontario, the Honourable Michael Kersner, the Member of Provincial Parliament for Kenora Rainy River, the Honourable Greg Rickford, the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, and the Association of Municipalities of Ontario. And be it further resolved that Council joins many other municipalities in adopting similar resolutions to work collaboratively to present a unified municipal voice advocating for stronger protections for children across Canada.
Thank you very much for saying all that. I need a mover, please. Councilor Minier, second. Councilor Patty. All in favor? Carried. 8.2.2, calling on MPAC and the province for property value reassessment.
Whereas a well-functioning and up-to-date assessment system supports strong communities and makes the province an attractive place to invest. And whereas property assessments in Ontario have not been updated in over a decade, making them the most outdated in Canada, while provinces such as Alberta and British Columbia update assessments annually to reflect current market conditions. And whereas the prolonged pause in the reassessment cycle has created significant distortions in assessed values, resulting in inequities among property classes. And whereas outdated assessments negatively impact investment decisions, economic competitiveness, municipal planning, and disproportionately affect independent small businesses. And whereas reassessments are designed to be revenue neutral for the municipality, ensure fairness in taxation, maintain public confidence in the property tax system, and support long-term municipal financial planning. And whereas a coalition of municipalities, chambers of commerce, tourism organizations, small businesses, and major property owners have called upon the Government of Ontario to update property assessments. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Township of Ignace hereby calls upon the Premier of Ontario and the Minister of Finance to direct the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation to promptly resume the regular property assessment cycle. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be forwarded to the Honourable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, the Honourable Peter Bethlen-Felvey, Minister of Finance, the Honourable Rob Flack, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, and the Municipal Property Assessment Corporation for their consideration and timely action.
Need a mover, please. Councilor, seconder, Councilor Detail. All in favor of that? Carried. 8.2.3, proposed free dump days.
That the council for the corporation of the township of Big Mace accepts the report regarding free dump days this 11th day of May 2026, and that council does hereby approve the following 3 free dump days for 2026. Saturday, May 30th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturday, July 11th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturday, September 12th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Need a mover, please? Councilor Beatrice, seconder? Councilor, all in favor? Question, sorry, question. Councilor Beatrice.
So, every year I have the same conversation. I do not think it should be called free dump days. There is no such thing. This costs the ratepayers money every year. I'm not opposed to having days where there are no tipping fees, but we should call it a no tipping fee day. And attached to this report should be the cost of the ratepayers from last year's no tipping days. These are extra busy days at the dump, and I think it would be beneficial for the ratepayers to see how much money the community invested in the no tipping day.
Councilor Beatrice, or sorry, Councilor Darden.
Are the hours extended to? And to 4 to 6 hours?
2 hours, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't think we should extend the hours. I think it should be the exact same hours that
Before.
before. I mean, it's
Well, there's
much,
a lot of people complaining last year, because.
well, I don't, think it's gonna, they're getting, they should be happy they're getting it for free.
Yeah.
I think it should be the regular hours. That's right.
If I can add, I think there was an issue last year too with lineups and overtime, was there not?
There was. And overtime?
Because people were lined up already to dump stuff.
Well, it's closed at 4 o'clock. It's closed.
Exactly, yeah.
But for overtime?
I was ignorant of this. And
So, yeah, so if people are lined up right to the end of 4 o'clock, there's still paperwork to be done, so.
Well, you should have gone at 3:30.
yeah,
If I may too, I want to, just like I did last year, I want to express that I don't, no other municipality do this. It is costly, right? I question whether it even helps clean up properties, because we still have properties that are, you know, that are struggle keeping things clean. And considering that we're, you know, and I haven't seen the budget this year, but, you know, there might be a deficit, that I don't think, this is a good decision personally, but.
Councilor Taylor.
I don't have a problem with free tipping fees, right? We should go with the regular schedule, and if it's open from noon till 4, maybe we could say from 12:30 to 3:30 is free dumping, and then that gives them a half an hour prior and half an hour later to get that.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be costing us more money,
No,
you know what I'm saying?
no, didn't know that it was. Anything? Yes, sorry, Councilor. No, not you. Okay.
All right, going along the lines of everybody else here, if council decides to have these, days available to the public, perhaps there's some direction to our incompetent to close the gate at a certain time, so nobody else can come in. And that eliminates the 4 o'clock overrun. Because there's gonna be, at 4 o'clock, there's gonna be traffic backed up right to the highway at 4 o'clock. Anyways, if council agrees to this. The other thing I'd like to mention is, I think we should remove from the big list of items that are accepted, household garbage. Because there's people out there that hoard their household garbage. They put them on their decks, they throw them in trailers, and then come this day here, where there's no charge to run up to the dump of their garbage, they take their household garbage and get rid of it. So I think that should be removed, and that would just reinforce the fact that the whole reason of these days is to get rid of the clutter on your property access siding, that kind of stuff, or somebody tearing down a building, that's a good day to take food on, right?
Mhm.
But, I do know around town, there's people that keep their garbage, hoarded. And, I'm assuming, now, the staff at the dump could probably verify that information. I'm assuming that a lot of people keep their household garbage. on the day.
Okay.
So, I'm recommending if we're gonna go with the other changes that we possibly look at that, removal of that item.
Okay.
Cause it's my understanding that the thinking behind this was to help people get rid of the old tires
Mhm.
and construction stuff or whatever they've got going in the yard, and they're stockpiling because they didn't want to spend a few bucks to run up with a show and take them off.
Okay, so I think what I'm hearing is, change it to, free, no tipping fee, right? That's number one. Number two is to take household garbage out of there. If council wants to agree to that.
No.
No?
I don't agree.
Okay, okay. And the other one is to make sure that there is no overtime.
We'll go back to regular schedule for, call it four.
Fall before.
I mean, we're giving them a break, we're gonna pay for it.
Okay, so how are we gonna,
No,
deal with the people that are outside on?
so you say from 10 a.m. to 3:30. And the gates are closed at 3:30, you can't close the gates yourself.
And, well, it's wrong.
That's 10 on 10.
Yes, I know, but we're discussing to put it back to the regular hours. Yeah,
So leave it at that. Anyway, this tenant will be at the site by themselves. And they, so include and close the gate now. So how do you manage with that?
Aaron.
Through the mayor, I was just thinking that, probably have to get, cause they'll be backed up. She won't have an opportunity, however, I think we can get Dwayne or myself to go out there and just, you know, when it's getting to that point, we'll have to communicate to a couple of cars in front that it'll be closing and then close it at a certain period of time.
Yeah, not only that, but we want to have signage, even on 599, for closes at 2:30, and also make sure it is on every possible,
Board out there.
yes, and
Advertise.
business discussion and our websites, and because a lot of people will get caught up.
Yeah.
But they know they're in, but we want to mitigate that.
Counselor Biggie.
I wonder if a report could be brought to council, what the increased cost would be, for the summer months to have the dump open from 10 to 4 on Saturdays, ongoing, even when you're paying.
Should we, you know? We double, we have 2 hours,
So,
But there would be money that she would be bringing in as well.
and at 12 to 4, sometimes a long time to be able to move on with your day once you're, ready to, I'm just curious. And
What's the average, how much money does the dump bring in a day?
I'd have to bring a report back.
We're probably losing money there.
The landfill is one of the better, I mean, if we're not. So it's one of the ones that we're actually getting a lot of the returns back. But however, we're not really, and this goes back to the investment, we're not really putting money away for, post closure. So, I mean, it's one of the better ones, for sure.
And I have seen people loaded at noon. Going, ready to go at noon when it opens, so maybe 10 hours. I don't know. Maybe we can have a report back on that, like,
We'll report back.
Yes. So can you table that?
I'm okay.
We're okay with
that
this?
report would be separate.
Okay.
May I have cause
Yes,
I'm
go ahead.
working on getting that procurement done for the wastewater treatment plant. Is it all right if I give me like a month or two?
For it to come back?
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't need it till before summer anyways, really, because it's probably.
okay.
Okay,
So,
We wanna go, so.
okay, that's, she's gonna read what we changed, I believe. Oh, sorry.
Sorry. What we have here is before us, normal, regular business for the summer for, picnic fees or food donation.
Mhm.
Counselor here has asked for a breakdown of costs, and what it would cost to extend hours. Are we accepting this and then wait for a report down the road? That's gonna be, we're gonna decide whether we're gonna decide this is wrong, or are we gonna stay with this no matter what the cost is at the end of the day? That's, because there's no sense getting a report to find out that it's costing us X number of dollars, or we're losing money, or whatever the case will be, and have this in play. But this should be in play in another 25 days, or less than 25 days, 20 days. And so if we prove it this way, then the report that the CEO is gonna provide will be maybe beneficial for us in the future, or the future council to determine whether or not this is a viable spot.
That's right.
I just don't want us to go ahead with this and then find out that, hey, it's costing us way too much money, and then we decide that we're gonna cancel.
Why don't we
I
just
think
deal
that's
with this
the-
tonight?
That's what, yeah,
That's what I'm trying to say, deal with this now,
okay,
and if we get a report in the future,
We can deal with it later.
okay,
and then this would be like the last kick the cat. If this council determines, or the next council determines that this is a too expensive a deal for the taxpayers to carry, then it'll have to be addressed then, but
okay.
what I want to make sure that we're not gonna revisit this
Mhm.
a month from now and then cancel it.
That's not the intention.
No.
Counselor Deepfield?
So if the bylaw before us states that the free tipping days are on regular scheduled days, scheduled times on these days.
Yeah.
Without writing in the time, if council decides that it's reasonable to extend the dump hours till 10 o'clock, that would, these days would follow suit.
Mhm.
No, that's good.
I mean, here, can't we just deal with what we got here?
Yeah.
We're gonna deal with, we're gonna get
She's
free,
gonna-
free tipping from 10 to 4. My suggestion was that we stay with regular hours, that's it, can we just deal with
Yeah,
that?
yeah,
And then we'll deal with the rest at another time.
That's exactly what I said.
okay,
Right.
okay. Got it? Okay.
through the mayor, may I propose then that it be reworded to be that the council for the corporation of the township of Ignace accepts the report regarding free dump days this 11th day of May 2026, and that council does hereby approve the following 3 no tipping fee days for 2026: Saturday, May 30th, Saturday, July 11th, Saturday, September 12th, during regular scheduled hours.
Noon to 4.
All in favor?
All in favor? Carried. Thank you.
Thank you.
8.2.4. Code of conduct, review and respect zone. Policy.
That council authorize administration to retain Cheadle's LLP to an upset limit of $4,000 plus applicable taxes to review the township of Ignace's existing conduct related policies, including the council code of conduct, employee code of conduct, and workplace violence and harassment policy, and to develop a township-wide respect zone, R zone policy, and that administration be directed to work with Cheadle's LLP on the scope of services, including any related forms, procedures, and implementation tools, and to report back to council with draft policy documents and recommendations for council's consideration.
Need a mover, please. Councilor Manier, seconder. Councilor Tario. Discussion? Yes, Councilor Tario, sorry.
Give me straight here. I was just wondering, like, why would we get Shields and spend $4,000? We're just talking about being overspent, and can't we just take a look and piggyback off some other communities, bylaw?
Ken?
Well, I mean, that's, through the mayor, that's essentially what we're doing, but he's also giving you reviewing, you know, some of them even, or I believe there was several complaints, because one of the policies was created, by another legal firm. If I'm not mistaken, I can't remember, right? So, it's just gonna be an overall, and that's a ceiling limit.
I thought that other legal firm,
I thought that was.
we passed the bylaw that we would be accepting their, back. We'll talk about that in the county session, we gotta talk about that.
Well, through the mayor, so essentially, I started with a customer code of conduct with this. I since provided it to Cheadle's. He said it was too expansive, and that I needed to, and I was trying to push boundaries. I think personally, this is how progress happens. However, he said it would likely be challenged, and that the customer code of conduct is actually something that's an older model, and the R zones are something of the newer model. So rather than an individual, it's more of a zone protection. So it'd be the arena, Councillor Menier was with me when we had these discussions. Technically, I guess we could, but you know, the only one that I know that's in the area is Kenora, and I don't know if it would be simply just as simple as just to take out Kenora and put in Ignace in it. And second, I have a number, like I'm trying to get the wastewater plant out. I'm trying to get the demolition of that Front Street property. There's a couple of procurement tasks that are really taking up some of my time. So if I were to do something like that, it wouldn't be for quite a while. And given some of the, even recently, there have been situations where having this policy would have been beneficial. So having, and the ombudsman has indicated that in order to, if somebody were to come in and say be irate to staff, technically, if it was to the point where we would be able to say having a no trespassing, that would be found illegal. You would have to have a policy in place before you can actually issue those kind of orders.
Councillor Catio.
We've had that, in the past, issued, no trespass policies to, individuals.
Yeah.
That acted like, a rated asshole or whatever.
Never mind.
You know, after staring, how did they do that?
So I've had this conversation with them, and there is actually case law where somebody was given a no trespassing, and they challenged it and actually won. I don't know if there was actually financial, but they actually won because there was no policy in place to allow that.
So you wanna get a policy in place.
So-
Like done by a lawyer, so that we know it's, yeah.
We're covered, right? And we have a duty to protect our staff as well under, it's no strange, and this isn't just, it's all over Ontario.
Okay, Councillor Depot.
So do you need to gain permission from another municipality to use their bylaw? Because in 1 second, I was able to find about 5 R zone policies for municipalities online.
Yeah, it's right on the website.
Again, I don't have the time
He's
to,
telling us it does not. So I guess we just wait.
Well,
Councillor Menier.
adopting, we don't have to reinvent the wheel, but on the other side of the coin, we should get a legal consensus that whatever one we adopt, if we're adopting somebody else's policy, whether or not it's suitable for our
Municipality.
our municipality, or in fact, if it's that one that we're looking at, if we look at one, is actually legal in the eyes of the court. I'm sure most municipalities also probably went and talked to a lawyer to get their art zones drafted out. But not all policies cover the same situations in different locations, different municipalities. So I don't see, and we've said this in council here before, we want a legal opinion. So why not just go and say, we want a legal opinion, do an R zone, for this R zone, I think that's what it's called. And it takes the stress off of, the administration, and we will have something that's documented in black and white that we know is true to the form, and it can be applied to whatever the situation is that's going to pop up in the future.
Okay, we're gonna move on.
I just have another question. So it doesn't, say where these funds would be coming from, the $4,000, but I'm assuming that, the $4,000 is there. No legal fund.
Yeah, okay, so we have a mover and seconder, sorry.
I mean, it would,
Be included in the budget.
it would have to be included in the budget, because they're like, the way that previous bylaws have been sort of like, all the NWMO money is sort of allocated to each one of those columns.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say that this really lines up with any of those.
Okay, so I have a mover and seconder, so is council in favor? Carried. Eight point 2.5 structural inspection of library and admin.
That council authorize administration to retain qualified professional consultants, including structural engineering and architectural building envelope expertise, to conduct a combined condition assessment of the library and tourist center. And that the assessment include inspection of the structural timber framing and bolted connections, investigation of roof leaks and the condition of the roof system, review of deteriorated exterior wood siding and related building envelope elements, and review of other architectural deficiencies identified within the building. Further, that administration be directed to obtain a written report outlining observed deficiencies, potential causes, immediate risks, recommended repairs or replacement options, priority ranking, and preliminary budget considerations for future work. And further, that the offset limit for the assignment be set at $60,000 plus applicable taxes, with funding to be provided from the appropriate building maintenance and or facilities reserve accounts and included in the 2026 budget, be approved by council.
Need a mover, please. Councilor Manero, seconder, Councilor Nutt. Questions?
Go ahead.
Councilor Detail.
So I think this building has, historical value, cultural value, and I think all of the money spent in investigating this does align with the community wellbeing fund. No, it's a statement.
It's a statement, yeah.
Well, you can give a question. I'm good, but I said.
Councilor Savia.
So do we have structural issues with anything?
That's why there's enough there that would have me a little concerned. So you can you can see from the photos there.
I've seen those, yeah.
So you can see where the crack is right through those bolts, and you can see that there's a space, there.
So when we put this, we're gonna put this out for tender, we're gonna hopefully get 3, all our recruitment policies.
Yes.
Okay.
So, and again, like I'm also wrapping in like, the exterior, the boards are starting to look a little, like some people probably see that there's some of them that are missing. And we are getting roof leaks, so do we want all of the
Roof leaks?
Yeah. Yeah, it should be in the photos.
Is that
We just got it replaced.
is that the walk with the water?
Yeah,
The roof on that building?
yeah, you can, like, it's dripping.
We just replaced it 3 or 4 years ago.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it seems to be only sort of through there. It seems to be only like during thaw, like the winter thaw.
Mhm.
So I don't know if there's like an ice dam forming where, you know, heat's escaping and it's freezing a dam and then the water has nowhere to go but backwards.
Mhm. Okay.
But without an investigation, I think, like, Councillor DPO said that, like, especially with the Center of Expertise being built beside, it'd be nice to have, you know, and I know it's spending more money. I think the structural aspects and the leak are really important.
Yeah.
And we can have, you know, it's not gonna be much for an assessment of, you know, you'll say, this is how you finish the exterior. It's, you know, inconsequential compared to the rest of the report. And then you'll have like one line item, how much it's gonna cost to repair that.
Okay.
If I can add one thing through the mayor, when the property insurance, I guess inspector came around to look at the condition of buildings and things that are covered, our rate went down. I just got a notification a couple of days ago because this building was valued lower than it was in previous years because of the state of repair.
So it went down.
It went down, we'll be getting a bit of a refund
Oh. Okay.
because of the condition. That's who's inspecting conditions.
Condition.
Okay.
Condition
Okay.
of the building being excellent, or condition of the building being
No,
excellent?
not it.
Okay.
Figure your door.
Okay. Yeah.
The replacement value. And we wouldn't get it.
Okay, so council in favor?
We're not much of a choice, we're gonna keep up our standards.
And then that's used for community well-being.
Yeah.
Is that what we're doing? Okay.
Carried. April, pardon me? Yeah. Thank you. 8.2.6, street name correction request.
That council for the Township of Ignace directs administration to notify empath land titles, emergency services, and any other organizations that require official confirmation of a proper street name to confirm street addresses on Robinson Place as official if they were incorrectly listed as Robinson Crescent.
Yes. Need a mover, please. Councilor Net, second, Councilor Manier, all in favor of that? Carried. 8.2.7, summer day camp.
That the council for the Township of Ignace approves funding of up to $1,000 to support the agility 2026 summer youth day camp program.
Mover, please. Councilor Defield, Councilor Manier, all in favor of that? Carried. 8.2.8, Ignace Integrated Implementation Strategy, receipt of final report and direction from the staff.
That council received the Township of Ignace Integrated Implementation Strategy final report and associated appendices as information, and that council authorized the integrated implementation strategy to be used as the township's municipal planning framework to inform future work planning, budget development, implementation priorities, and funding applications related to growth readiness associated with the proposed NWMN project. And further, that staff report back to council on short-term critical actions and associated resource requirements.
I need a mover, please. Councilor Defield and Councilor Net. Questions? That was a big report.
The first one was 600. Okay, it's not what
Whoa.
And through the mayor, so
Yes.
there are some additional like Excel spreadsheets and had like a sort of a Gantt chart. So what this is essentially is all the baseline studies that were performed prior to the willingness. Sort of, they all have their sort of what would you call it? Recommendations.
Yeah.
So they all have recommendations. All you know, competing essentially is where we should start focusing to maximize the impact of this project. So this sets out a sort of a strategy moving forward on what we should put in place. And of course, you know, approving this report just approves the report.
Yeah.
Any further recommendations as a result of this report would also come back to council for further review.
Mhm.
I will probably, if I'm still in place, say that we should follow this report, because it's, it says get an economic development officer,
Mhm.
which is coming down the pipe real soon. There's other, necessities that we should consider moving forward. And of course, again, all those recommendations will come back to council for further authorization.
And just one more thing to add through the mayor, the delivery of this report triggered another $99,000 payment from NWMO. That's the third installment.
Okay, good. Any other further questions from council? All in favor? Carried. 8.2.9, authorizing informed valuations bid of whole property appraisal.
That council for the township of Ignace authorizes the administration to accept the treasurer's informed opinion of value rather than a cost prohibitive form of property appraisal for any surplus property in Ignace. And that the clerk treasurer Leslie Sterling, who is a realtor registered with the Real Estate Council of Ontario through Real Broker Ontario Limited Brokerage, be permitted to provide this opinion of value as part of her treasurer duties with the township of Ignace at no additional service fee and with no separate brokerage contract required. And that any affected bylaws that specified property appraisal be revised and brought back to council for approval at the next meeting.
Need a mover, please? Councilman Mears, seconder, Councilor DePew, any questions on that? Yes, Councilor Mears.
I like the idea of tapping into the resources that we have at the municipality. But I'm wondering on this, devil's advocate, I guess, by using, the treasurer to give us an opinion on a value, how would that work out should it be challenged?
Councilor Tario.
I have to agree. Actually, you have to think about this too. First of all, I'm shocked, $22,000. Did we get 3 appraisals on that?
We've got one option in the region.
There's only one option in the region? There's only one real estate agent that
Appraiser.
appraiser? Okay,
And
nice.
that's commercial. Through the mayor, sorry, I just want to answer your question as well. That was the only commercial industrial appraiser in our area. Just to confirm that for you.
And my other question is, I don't have a problem doing it, but the thing is, I like to see them done now. So they're done before anybody bids on them.
Yeah.
Like right now.
Yeah.
Before anybody, I don't want, what I'm trying to get at is, a year from now, when somebody wants to bid on, this piece of property and then she does it then.
Yeah.
I want them all done now, but then this way here, nobody could bet, you can be best friends with, you know what I'm trying to, so that's all, there's no, what could you say?
Priorities or
Bias.
No bias, that's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So if it's all done now, and you don't know anybody, then it's a good time for you to do it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can speak to that further through the mayor, and it's backing it up with the numbers.
No, I'm just saying.
To have all that evidence to show
Yeah.
how the valuation
For
was
sure.
calculated.
Yeah, I just wanted to, again, reiterate what she said. Plus, any appraisal is gonna come back anyways, and then, that we do have the community
Council gets,
ultimate authority anyways, right? So, I mean, most, through the community improvement plan, a lot of expression of interest, we're probably well below that threshold anyways.
and one other thing too, just before, sorry.
Yeah.
Before I forget here. So the property the surplus property has to be advertised.
Yeah.
Okay, and are we gonna do that?
They are advertised.
Besides the website, can we advertise that? So not everybody got access to the computer.
So are you suggesting a list maybe at the library?
Something, there should be a list someplace or something, so the people have the right to know, because that property, before it goes up for sale, should be advertised, right?
I can speak to that. The property list of surplus properties is posted on the bulletin boards around town. It's posted on the website. We've also just received for sale signs that we can put on each property. We were just waiting for the snow to melt and get somebody out there.
So people know. you know?
Yeah.
Okay. All good? Oh, sorry, Councilman Minnick.
Said
Yeah.
before.
Yeah.
If there's a, feedback on why you can treasure, is there any, legal indemnification to cover her? So she's not being sued or town's not being sued?
I don't,
That's covered in your license.
I've got real estate insurance separate from work.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that, you're not on the hook for something or the town's not on the hook for something down the road.
Okay, are there, so all in favor of that? Carry. Thank you. 8.2.10, Q1 revenue and expenditures report.
That council for the Township of Ignace receives the Q1 2026 revenues and expenditures report as presented.
Need a mover, please. Okay, that's second. Councilor Defield. Questions? Councilor Defield.
I would request to defer this. I haven't had time to go through it line by line.
Okay.
There was only one, note for a variance, so I don't have a few questions. I just haven't been able to finish the document. I'm really busy.
Okay. Oh, yeah, Councilor Taylor.
Can we dummy it down a bit?
Sure.
No, so, you know, I mean,
There's a lot on there.
she's absolutely right, we got, like, you know, I mean, there's a lot of questions I want to ask too, but I think you should actually, sorry.
Here's the dummy down version is the report. That's the summary. As of March 31st, we received revenues of just over 2.5 million and paid expenditures of just over 2.4 million. We had a surplus of $162,799.55. Our Q1 revenue represented 23.54% as compared to the 2025 budget. Our Q1 expenditures represented 22.07% as compared to the 2025 budget. And we had previously, council had approved up to 40% of the 2025 budget for expenditures. And the revenue in here does not include any taxation income because that's processed through a separate system and not entered in assist. And the deadline for payment of those interim tax bills was the end of April.
So,
So we didn't have that yet.
question, I mean, I've been, I don't know how many times he said that we're gonna be $2 million in the hole, or at one point, look into this, and we're doing really good here.
We're doing good, but we've got projects coming, like here we go.
But that's what I'm trying to get at, that's what you're trying to get at.
Aaron.
through the mayor, so I'm basing that off of last year's budget, because we had to borrow 47 million. Mind you, that, we are not getting the oil funding, hopefully that gets released, and then that deficit will decrease.
Okay. Yes, Councilor Taylor.
So when I was going through this here, now, correct me if I'm wrong, the nuclear waste money is all part of this here too, right?
There's separate categories for it.
But it's
Yeah.
overall, right?
The thing, this is the last year's budget, the format of it, and what
No, but
we
what I'm
spent
trying,
for each line item.
what I'm trying to get at is, we're paying off our operating costs in the community, right? Using nuclear waste money too, am I correct?
No,
So,
we have
separate.
Yeah, go ahead, Aaron.
just wanted, so we did pass a resolution a year and a half ago that we were gonna separate those, funds. We do have 500,000 K from that is going into operation currently, and then plus also that there was that, LASSO payment that was discretionary that went into the pot.
If I can speak further, this is what we spent Q1.
well, I understand.
So I don't know why council wouldn't approve it, because those are the numbers. It's not the budget. It's just compared to last year's budget. Ideally, if we're looking at this coming year's budget, I don't want to format it exactly like this, because I do want to be able to show that distinction between the different pots of money and show that what we're pulling down is getting properly accounted.
Yeah.
And you're gonna color code it next time you make it through, right? Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it
exactly.
makes it a lot easier, right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, any further questions?
Leslie, you did a good job. It's just that, you know, it's not what we're used to getting. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, we don't have a variance report. yet.
Well, I
We don't know what to get.
That's-
Okay, so we're voting on the resolution.
That council for the Township of Ignace receives the Q1 2026 revenues and expenditures report as presented.
Okay.
All in favor?
I thought we were gonna,
You want it taken?
table it, so. There's a lot,
But there's no.
It's just
not-
receiving it.
yeah,
It's
we're
just
just
repeating
repeating
it.
it, we're not approving it.
No,
Okay.
just repeating it.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, all in favor?
Yep.
Carried. 8.2.11 Library Board Application Letter.
That council for the Township of Ignace appoints Patricia Marie Badali to the Ignace, I hope I pronounced that correctly, to the Ignace Public Library Board as a trustee for the balance of the municipal council term, which ends November 14, 2026.
You move the please. Councilor Manero, second, Councilor Diamond. All in favor? Carried. Okay, leadership issues, 9.1, notice of motions, Councilor Manero, notice of motion.
Councilor Mayor, speak to that.
Whichever.
Councilor Menier submitted a motion, the topic land appropriation for a provincial jail purpose. The provincial government is expecting to spend $20 billion on refurbishing or building new provincial jails across the province in the near future. They're spending dollars to bring mothballed jails back into service and build new facilities. He believes that the current Ignace Aerodrome property would be a suitable site for construction of a new provincial jail. The site is free and clear of overburden, a large water source is present, which would definitely address some of the core needs to construct new. Advantages would be a large footprint for the structure and an increase of tax income also. The benefits for employees and families living in the town, which would expand the infrastructure of the town and increase the population, etc. This would be another long-term project or industry that would sustain the township in the coming years. So the proposed resolution that will then be on the June agenda is that council for the Township of Ignace directs the administration to explore the possibility of building a provincial jail in Ignace by making inquiries with ministries, and further that council directs the administration to consider the sale of the aerodrome property and its impact and submit a report to council for further discussion. So that will be on the June agenda because this was submitted.
Yes.
Can we discuss this?
It'll be on the June.
On the
agenda.
next one.
We kind of council there, put it to a vote.
Yeah, let's put it to vote.
Okay, who wants to allow discussion on it?
Just to allow discussion.
Yes. Okay. So it's carried for discussion. Okay. Councilor Diamond.
I think it's a good idea. I remember back, I don't know, you probably involved, we chased this once before,
Yeah,
right?
we did.
We chased getting the jail here, I think this once before. The only thing that I disagree with is where it's gonna go. You talking about the airport? Yeah. Yeah, I just think, you know, that if you lose the airport with the nuclear waste coming and, I mean, we got tons of land around here, but, you know, that we could probably. Actually, we probably can pull up the report from when the last time we chased this and see, I can't remember exactly where we were thinking of putting it. But it's a good idea, and we should be chasing it, and it'll bring, you know, it'll bring a lot of jobs to Ignace if we do get it, right? The airport, I just think, you know, because of the nuclear waste project that's coming up, and I hate to see it gone, right? And we might need it.
Fully understand.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I fully understand this, but of course, my thinking is the
I
aerodrome,
think it's.
we're not doing
To
it.
approve.
Yeah.
It's sitting there, it's not that money. So-
Yeah, yeah.
And I know the
Yeah,
government wants to
it could be,
spend money now.
Yeah, oh, no, I agree with you. I just hate that once we lose it, it's gone forever, right?
Councilor Vito.
I wholeheartedly agree with that conversation, and if we get rid of the airport, we'll never have it back.
No.
And it would cost way too many millions ever. I 100% think we should chase down the opportunity to have this, within the township limits, so, yes,
You're for it, but
Yes.
just not the.
yes.
Yeah.
That's what-
I agree, but I'm just thinking like, where's the 30 million gonna come from to get the airport properly running? That's, the report was almost 30 million or 28 or.
No, I thought it was eight point something million to get it, to leave it the way it is. And
Yeah.
another 30 or 40 million to get expanded
Exactly,
charters.
yeah, okay.
But I just don't partake that option.
No, yeah, when we have it.
Yeah, because
Okay.
it's the page, it's there.
Yeah, I know, yeah,
But I mean,
okay,
chase this for sure.
yeah, for sure,
100%.
okay. So we'll, yeah. Bring it back.
Bring it back up to the report.
Okay. Thank you. Okay, oh, sorry. Sorry,
If I may.
yes,
Should I, like, cause right now we're asking for delegations for AMO. Should I
oh,
get
yes,
Jake?
absolutely.
Oh, there we
So
go.
we'll get Jake to speak to the Minister of Solicitation or Solicitor General.
Yeah.
And then, we'll chase that down, I mean, and then we'll, just cause the opportunity is available right now.
We could put it next to the airport, you know, fly in there.
And I think we can put that on the next service board meeting in a couple weeks and we can discuss it there.
That's an opportunity.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
Next to the railway track.
thank you.
Bring them in by train.
Okay, moving on. No bylaws, question from the public.
Yes,
Ken, do you have a
I
question?
got a question.
Okay,
If you agree or disagree, I guess. I guess it's the administration, I guess, and will be, bring it to council just to see what they say. I have something else going on, but this is similar to the same, but not the same. I have two pieces of property there. And administration is billing me for the cleanup on one that was never done, because we're not on that property, because I'm only on one side of the property. So I can't pay the taxes until they say I gotta pay the cleanup fee along with that. So I'm caught between a rock and a hard spot there under one piece of property. So I'm 748. There was no cleanup done on that at all, because we're not even on that. It was all on 750. Because they're two separate properties. Because I tried a few years ago to get them put together, and I was told we can't put them together, they're two separate. So that's the way they are. I went there today, I took a little video of it and to try to outline how it's looking. So if you need it, I can probably send it to you. But I screwed up on my process because I cut it off partway through, so I had to go back and start. So a little bit of it will overlap in two small ones. If I'm allowed to send it to you, so you get a verification what I'm talking about.
okay, so I think this is administration and council. So I think we'll have a meeting.
Yeah, but one piece of property is separate from the other one, so I can't pay the tax on it because they got me billed for a cleanup fee, which there was nothing on.
Okay.
So I can't pay it because,
Okay.
but if you like that little video, I can try to get it sent to you. And then you can send it to the rest of them and all that there.
Yeah,
And if you wanna know, I'll probably, Keith can give me a hand to get it sent to you if you want to.
okay,
If Keith, you allow him to,
that's fine.
I'm gonna throw Keith under the bus on that.
Yeah, okay.
Cause I don't know him, I don't speak with him, so
Yeah.
that's why I throw you.
And we have a package from you anyways.
Yeah,
that-
But that,
That we're going through right now
Yeah.
anyways.
and that's to do with both pieces of property.
Okay,
And if you don't mind, if we could borrow Keith for a minute to send it to you,
okay,
that little, but it's in two little videos.
okay.
Because I cut it off partway through.
Yeah.
And I had to double back a little bit and
Yeah.
come out again, then I
Okay,
might clarify it up,
okay,
if I'm allowed.
okay,
Okay,
thank you.
can I borrow Keith then for a
That's
minute?
fine, thank you.
Can I borrow you? for a
Probably
minute?
out of the, I think that when we break for the. meeting.
I'll probably get it from you tomorrow.
Tomorrow?
Yeah, come see me
Yes.
tomorrow. And that way I can transfer it and we
Okay.
can do a whole thing.
And then you can send it to the rest of them?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll get the
That'll
information.
be fine, what time?
We open at 9, so 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock be good for you?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll come see you.
Thank you,
Okay, that's all I wanna say.
thanks. Have a good night.
Hang it up.
Your stuff.
Okay.
Okay, there's a question online from Dana.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my question is for all of you. As the municipal elections approach, has council considered any succession or mentorship planning to encourage and prepare future candidates for municipal leadership?
There was an advertisement online, am I not correct? For training or possible webinars?
I believe there was.
Before for the public?
I think we encourage everybody to run. You wanna run?
Yeah,
Put your
exactly.
name in.
Exactly.
Public training.
For
Succession planning.
So I think there has been, has it gone online on the website?
If I can
Yes.
speak to the, through the mayor, I
Yeah.
think what Dana's asking is have these members of council considered succession planning and overlap? If you're not running again, sharing your knowledge with the people who are incoming and preparing stuff for the next council takeover.
Is that what you asked?
Cause it's about.
Yes, it is what I asked.
Okay,
Oh, I can ask that.
yeah,
I can
go
start.
ahead.
I tell everybody to run. I mean, there's a lot of people with a lot of opinions out there and everybody thinks, it's an easy job, but I hope, I mean, I encourage anybody to put their name in. And hopefully, there's gonna be a lot of people putting their names in to, move the community forward.
Yeah.
This is a good chance to, and a perfect time to do it.
Yeah.
I tell everybody to run. That's my opinion.
So as an individual counselor, if we were going to provide training, what would that look like? Does anybody know? Because that was what Dana is asking.
Yeah, succession planning and mentorship for council members, from council members to potential candidates or candidates.
So does anybody know what that would look like?
No, I don't know what it would look like, but I just know that we've been offered that, so I don't know why others, no?
Dana, I think you're asking if one-on-one type deals or one in a class with people that wanna run, come in and get footnotes on things, or? are you
No,
talking-
I've participated in some of the programs online already. What I'm asking is there been any planning or any discussion? And if not, I'd like to encourage it. Because I think that after being a council member for 4 years, if you're not running again, or even if you are planning on running, it'd be very good for the candidates to have that experience and knowledge in moving forward as well. So I think you have lots to share, and I think that it would be, really good for our community if it was shared in that kind of manner.
Yeah, and I believe that anyone who is planning on running should be here at the meeting. They should be participating and watching and seeing what the issues are for the municipality, and I like to see that.
Make sure they got thick skin too.
Yes, Aaron.
If I may, so succession planning, so we would have to find out who obviously has been elected. What we can do is we can put a plan in place, have it brought for the council for their authorization, and once, like, say, we have a new mayor and we have the old mayor, there'd be, say, 2 months overlap, not really overlap in terms of authority, but just having that availability or having that person in the orbit to sort of indicate what council can and can't do.
But we're not allowed to do that with the new council. We're not allowed to do that. The new council takes over on November or whatever.
I'm not,
They take over.
in terms of authority, but the roles and responsibilities outlined in the municipal act.
I've never seen that done.
And I've never been, it's
Never
actually
done.
really good done.
Counselor Detail.
So I'm just, before we create promises or, I think it's a really good conversation. I think it's a brilliant plan. It's something I've appreciated when I started. But staff wants to give it some consideration and thought and bring it back to council to look at what that could look like. But with looking at the, the bylaws and laws that are governing municipalities.
If I can speak to it, from the election side too, because if multiple people who are currently on council run again and get on or do not get on, there could potentially be a conflict with that right now. However, once the new council is established, anybody who's new coming onto council would have that opportunity to reach out directly to any of the current council members to see if anybody on this council is willing to mentor them or answer.
Don't they have council training too after?
There is formal
They
training,
do.
but just an understanding of
Yeah, there's council
Igneous
training.
politics.
Okay,
We've discussed, how sort of get the new council involved right away, so.
Right, to get involved,
Well, I mean, training and
Training, exactly.
get a new strategic, plan in place, right? Find out where, council's mandate will be,
mhm,
and then that will set the agenda for the whole 4 years.
okay. Is that good, Dana?
That's good for now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. We have another question? No, okay. Only one question.
That the council for the corporation of the township of Ignace convenes into the closed meeting of this regular meeting of council this 11th day of May 2026 at 7:40 p.m. Closed session matters pursuant to section 239, 2B and C, B, personal matters about an identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, property matter, and C, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board, property sales.
Need a mover, please. Counselor Lanier, Counselor Net, second. All in favor? Carried.
Let's keep the people, keep.
Good night, everyone. Thank you. We'll be coming back after the closed session.